Happy Friday, TGIF, to everybody out there in the interwebs and on LinkedIn and everything. So this week is a little bit different. I've got a very special announcement. We're going to talk about more layoffs, hot takes from Steve Smith and Lance Hahn, a quick discussion with Juicebox in Vegas, and a brand new segment featuring my lovely 6-year-old. Hit the theme song.
It's the rap, HR Tech news and shenanigans. It's the rap. Here's your host, Mike Wood.
Working on for a while. The Wrap now has a home. It's got its own website. So if you've been following the Wrap on LinkedIn or Substack, now you can go to ilovetherap.com and check it out. It's ilovetherap.com and not therap.com because I don't have that much money. So let me just show you what I've kind of built out on the Wrap. There is a there's three things that are live and free right now. So there's the jobs board, and it's pulling over 1,000 open roles from 28 HR tech vendors. It's just 28 to start out with now. I'm going to get more in there, but every morning, straight from each company's own ATS, you can click apply, you can go through the careers page, and you can check out what's on here. Plus, I have these little trend lines to show if they're on a hiring push like Ashby is, or are kind of trending downwards a little bit. So more information to come on that. I also, one of the best parts of the new site that I have is taking me back to 2008 when I used to read The Fistful of Talent and all these voices in the space. I wanted to highlight some of the voices in the space that I read and that I showcase in my hot takes. So they're here on the voices section. I got Jess Von Bank, Josh Burson, Lori Ruderman, Matt Charney. I got a bunch of people, and I'll highlight one every week too. I specifically like this piece from Lance Hahn about the AI Mark Zuckerberg, which I'll talk to a little bit later in the show. And what else? Oh, so also I'm going to be having a vendor pulse on there, which is just using the AI tools that are out there to get a complete picture on a vendor in terms of their capabilities, their ideal customer profile, funding, post-sale customer feedback. Basically, I want this to be your look into every vendor that's out there to help you make an informed decision. And so on May 1st, the premium tier will open up. It's $10 a month. Anything to support the work that I do would be greatly appreciated. And they'll I'll go over all the plus benefits of that next week. So, but now I want to get into what happened in the week that was in HR Tech. All right. So first off, UKG notified roughly 950 employees last week that their jobs are gone. And that's about 6% of the workforce. Close to 600 are leaving immediately. Another 350 are staying through a transition period that ends August 31st. Notifications were sent out via email on April 15th. Staff were told to work from home as the messages rolled out. I don't know if there's a better way to do this, but it just seems kind of cold to me. I like the people that I work with at UKG, but this is the sad reality of software companies right now, especially ones with PE backing. And so if you chop off an entire layer of talent expenses, you lean into what's left with AI. And instead of a team working on a project, you get one person playing conductor with an orchestra of agents. So when AI is cheap and scalable, having actual employees doing the task becomes a financial liability. That's the math. That's not going to change. There were some more announcements about Meta laying off more people. This is going to happen. It is the biggest flex right now is to get rid of that expensive layer of talent and leave the people that are left behind to do the work of multiple people with AI tools. So I'm sorry to hear that there were layoffs, but I will also just another short point is that I saw a lot of messages on LinkedIn that are like, my network is your network, and I feel for you. I am not a fan of the performative empathy because I've been laid off before and it sucks. And to see people that won't ever message you or do anything to help you put it out there like that, it's kind of facetious, and I'm not a fan. So please don't do that. And hopefully more people aren't doing the performative empathy in the weeks ahead, as of course more layoffs will happen. So let's move on. So Seek Out announced that Sean Thompson will take over as CEO on May 4th. Co-founder Anup Gupta transitions to executive chairman after leading the company since 2017. I had the chance to interview Anup last fall at HR Tech, and it was generally one of the more interesting conversations that I had. To me, he reminded me of every extremely knowledgeable college professor that was able to take complex terms and put them into real reality. And I just really like I was listening to him like an eager student. He's been doing AI since the 80s from what I remember, and it was just great to have that perspective. So happy retirement to you, Anoop, and cheers on the transition. And I'll be keeping an eye out on Seek Out under Thompson. Another story this week is that Greenhouse dropped its AI principles framework. It's 5 pillars: structured hiring, reimagined workflows, human-centered design, explicit decision ownership, and explainability. CEO Daniel Chate's framing is that AI hasn't delivered on the hype in hiring, and that's a failure of the application, not the technology. But here's the thing: the receipts back it up. So he's got an ISO 4200 and 42,001 certification. Well, he's got certifications. No customer data is used to train his models. No composite candidate scores. He's got that monthly Warden AI bias. Love the team at Warden. It's great. So in a market where every vendor chants responsible AI the way restaurants claim farm to table, Greenhouse is actually publishing the farm address. They're actually opening the doors and showing and making a stand that there are a good tool that is fair. Moving on, we have a couple of acquisitions this week or funding. So, quick funding note: you have noticed that I've talked about humanly acquiring different companies over the last couple of weeks. Well, they raised a 25 million Series B, which brings their total funding to 52 million. Congrats on them being able to do things. And Gaia applied or acquired Social Jobs to accelerate U.S. expansion. Gaia's full platform programmatic engine, AI ad engine, real-time analytics across 11 channels. It now has an established U.S. footprint in high-volume hiring, so smart bolt on from them. Let's move into some of my friends in the industry that have some great research. So George LaRoque at WorkTech dropped his Q1 2026 Global WorkTech VC report and the funding flows and trends across the space. So 3 key findings here. One is continued consolidation in AI-powered talent acquisition tools. The big are getting bigger. The long tail is shrinking. 2, sustained investor interest in frontline worker platforms. I've talked about this before, is that all the investment is in frontline right now, and specifically frontline in healthcare, even as the broader market cools. So that matches everything that we've been seeing. And number 3, there are geographic shifts in where deals are getting done. George is going to walk through the full results in a webinar next week. There's a link in the full newsletter or on ilovetherap.com if you want a deeper dive beyond the headline numbers. And if you'll see on this chart, where the money is going, HCM by far. Everybody wants that consolidated solution. Moving on to some HR hot takes. These are some of the people that I'm going to feature in my my voices column on the wrap.com. But Steve Smith, I love his writing, and this is why good writing exists. So Steve put language to something the enterprise SaaS world hasn't really fully admitted out loud yet. I want to read this line of the week because it's worth hearing in full. ServiceNow, Salesforce, and the whole Cretaceous layer of enterprise workforce software or workflow software isn't being disrupted by a better version of themselves. The environment just shifted. AI agents don't just replace the worker, they replace the software that the worker used to need. That's a different kind of disruption than most enterprise SaaS companies are modeled for. End quote. Like the asteroid didn't pick a fight with the dinosaurs. It changed the climate they're built for. So I love this quote, Steve. And every HR tech vendor pitching workflow automation as their mode should sit with that one for a minute. And if the job of the software was to coordinate the humans and the humans are coordinating the work anymore, then what exactly are you selling? My featured voice this week is, of course, Lance Hahn. You'll see him in that mugshot on the bottom right there. So Lance absolutely torched Meta's latest solution to the scale problem. So Meta is building an AI avatar of Zuckerberg. It's trained on his mannerisms, trained on his internal writings, so that their close to 80,000 employees can interact with a simulation of the founder. I don't buy it. So, like I think that it's an awful idea. Now you can get ignored by an AI. So Lance's diagnosis is brutal but accurate. But the more power someone accumulates, the less accurate their read of other people's become, and they stop picking up social cues and start confusing their own perspective with reality. Meta has been there before. The metaverse lost $80 billion. Workplace from Meta got shuttered, and now they're building AI Zuck. So the pattern never changes, only the technology does. You can't automate your way to employee trust. Scale is not a substitute for presence. Thank you, Lance, for saying that, and good luck with the trial with that mugshot you got there. On the podcast this week, it's the first of my podcast from being on location in Vegas, and I got to sit down with Juicebox CEO and co-founder David Pfaffenholz and his team. I will say that the Juicebox people were some of the happiest people that I saw on the floor. They all love working there. It seems like a great place to be. So I encourage you to take a look at that interview. It's up on hr.com. And my friends at Revelio Labs, in my work worth a click this week, they track something that's been happening under the radar. And so the share of U.S. workers who switch jobs abroad has doubled since 2021, from just under 3% to nearly 6% in 2025. The outflow is led by tech and digital sectors. IT consulting is at nearly 16% of job switchers going abroad. Remote roles are significantly more likely to lead to exits. Both U.S.-born and foreign-born workers are leaving, and this is structural, not cyclical. I go into this a little bit more in the full wrap on ilovetherap.com, but it seems like the American dream is elsewhere, outside of America. So this is a data point that every CHRO should be taking a peek at right now. Now, I know it's a short show, but I have a brand new segment on the wrap. My 6-year-old daughter, Callie, is going to join us for something I'm calling Callie's Corner, where I hand the mic to her for the most important stories of the week. So this week, we got Callie's take on 3 topics. We got fun, TV, and the ongoing stalemate in the Strait of Hormuz. Let's kick it off.
Callie's Corner, serious questions to a 6-year-old. Callie's Corner.
Hey, everybody, we got a very special guest here on the program tonight. What's your name, young lady?
A Callie boy.
You're Callie. And Callie, how old are you?
6.
6. Okay, which means what grade are you in?
Kindergarten.
Okay, and what stuff do you like to do for fun? Are you watching any TV shows?
TV.
You like TV?
Yeah.
You like to play on Roblox, too?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to cut to the chase. It looks like the Strait of Hormuz is still shut, and there doesn't seem to be any movement on either Trump or the Iran sides.
Yeah.
What do you think about the logjam in the Strait of Hormuz right now? What do you think? Do you think Iran will back down?
Yeah?
All right, you heard it here first. Iran might back down.
Callie's Corner, serious questions to a 6-year-old. Callie's Corner.
Oh, thank you, Callie. That was frankly the most coherent geopolitical analysis I've seen this week. So that's it for edition 73 of The Wrap. If you're not subscribed yet, head over to ilovetherap.com. It's free. It hits your inbox every Friday, and there's no fluff, no vendor spin. Brand new this week, our jobs board is live. There's over 1,000 roles across 28 HR tech vendors, and I will be adding more to it. Voices Hub is live. And on May 1st, the premium tier launches, so stay tuned for that. So, and thank you, Callie, for joining us. Maybe we'll do another segment with you where I ask you what happens when we die. Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you next week.